You know, it's a little mind-boggling that that there's a type of person that likes it when you call them a bitch, and what is really behind all that. You know, it's because it gives a person a power to do anything wrong to you that is not immediately overt. Is then if you get mad and complain, you'll call them a bitch. When a bitch is a divine word, I'm not saying that you should act like what you think or what someone says a bitch is. On itself, whether you know it or not, it doesn't matter. It's a powerful divine word. You know, why does Anubis? You know, there was never a person with a dog head. You know, on a boat in on a canal, like, you know, the river boat, the river Styx man. You know, like with the dog head, Anubis. There's never been anyone like that. But there's a reason why. Because it's a destructive energy for you. You know what I mean? People say freedom isn't free, but you don't even have to say that, because peace has to be enforced from somewhere. You might not, there might be peace going on that you can't afford it, or it doesn't work with you. You have to do something radically to change it. So these people that like to be called a bitch know that, and they could use your energy. Because if you call them a bitch, then you're not describing what it is that they're doing wrong. People wouldn't be able to see what they're doing wrong. They could see that you're unstable. Why are you calling an enemy a bitch? Why would you call any enemies a word that is divine? Something must be unstable about you, subconsciously. I already don't believe you. I already can't. I already just think that you're part of the problem. The occult view was talking about a hall monitor who was saying that the metal detector didn't work. I'm gonna have to pat you down. Do you see the metal detector doesn't work? So I have to. And he was a molester. At the time that this person who's talking says that it happened to them, they couldn't tell that the person was a bitch, you know, or they would actually just like you to call them a bitch instead of saying specifically what it is that you're doing, because that you would never be able to unseat them from their hustle or their power or their little, you know, you would never be able to knock them off of their position. Enforcing peace on you, that is a peace that you can't afford, because you can't just let some weirdos pat you down. If your parents found out that, they would fucking come down to this school and kill this guy, and then you would be lacking a parent. Your parent would be in prison, or your parent would not be able, you know, you'd be looking through them behind a glass. So instead of saying, you know, this person said the metal, because you might be like, you know, this person told me the metal detector was broke, and the staff is like, wait a minute, the metal detector's fine. Bam, you just killed that guy. No, call him a bitch. He's a motherfucking bitch. Oh, you know what? You need to just pipe down, son. You need to relax. We have measures in place for purposes of reason, purposes dealing with facets of reasonability, and we need this for, you know what I mean, because we'll be endangered from the gun or something. It has nothing to do with you not getting patted down. So these like little power structures where somebody is exploiting something that doesn't maybe make sense to anybody else, and that person feels emboldened because they think that you don't have the ability to eloquate what it is. You're just gonna get flustered and call them a bitch, and they're gonna fucking, yeah, haha, see, you know what I mean? That's the thing. I'm sorry. I mean, just like people saying, "Oh, you Christians never use foul, hard language or anything like that." But what about these motherfucking bitch ass motherfuckers that need to be perforated and aired out by the 35 caliber snub nose? Somebody needs to whip out on them. And hopefully it's not your parents or anyone you know. It would just be like a news story. Somebody else's parents had enough and they said, they whipped out, and they're like, yeah, hell yeah, that's goddamn right. And you know what I mean? You get kudos and everything. But you're in the news. Like, what's wrong if you do something and you never got caught? If you did something to them and you never got caught, there wouldn't be anything wrong with that. That's how they feel anyway. So I'm never gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna just get flustered, revert to their, ghettoized, like, vernacular that's already a problem. Where it's institution of education, we're here to lift their minds out of that anyway. So they need us, and fucking some of them are going to, try to exploit, because they'll use knowledge against you if you give them, like you're teaching them. So they might even like make them slick or something, and you just got to be like stern and whatever, and a molester too, because that's a perfect situation for them. It's just like you have to have religious conviction and everything, and vows and everything. Well, that's a perfect situation for Lavender Skittles, because they look like they're taking their vows, but it's, it's a little bit easier. It's, if you're a priest, to not be with a woman. If you are Lavender Skittles, it's going to be easier because you already don't like women and like that much anyways. You know what I mean? We're probably like them in the confessional when they're talking to another man instead of their husband. So you might have to revert if you don't know if your ideology is the right one to interpret scripture versus another person who is also trying to interpret scriptures from a good faith position. And if you disagree, how do you know who's wrong? You go back to older, the older church fathers' interpretation, because it's based on, the whole religion is really based on that in the first place, and you're trying to interpret that for better or for worse, for right or for wrong, just to interpret what it means. It's not whether you're right or whether or not you're wrong or they're wrong or they might be right. It's what is right. And then that could guide you to decide whether or not this whole freaking thing is right. But there is still going to be a kind of a type of human that almost seems like, possibly an alien. Because if you can at some level exploit this effort that is undergone to get the right approach to interpreting timeless wisdom, then right, and that's what you're trying to do. Are you ever afforded the right to believe anyone else but yourself? Okay, so the alien, like that, I'm saying, is not like humans, right? Because they use this wisdom to govern themselves towards being sanctified and everything, they would be human. But if they don't have no interest in that at all, we wouldn't know. The humans wouldn't know. And for a little while they could generate a strange kind of power that makes right or makes knowledge impossible. It makes right or wrong discernment impossible because you're still sidetracked. You're still just sidetracked by something that is outside of, because whether or not who you believe and everything, what if you're not allowed to believe anyone? What if nobody is ever under any then you only have to go with the value of the characters that you already know. And so the best approach is just what goes for your society as orthodox. It doesn't mean that it's a new sect outside of society. It's just getting back to whatever's already been there in the consistent sense that you need for interpretation, because you're still trying to interpret and you're still part of your environment. So everybody's hoping for you to fail. If you're married, then your priest is hoping your relationship fails, and your wife's girlfriends, and the jealous homie, and everybody. But it's almost to discourage someone from trying, which is sad, and you should still try to do it anyway, even if people think that you're not a likely candidate, or whatever. That's weird that anybody would be preoccupied with anyone other than themselves for that. Like, that's slippery. Why even focus on anyone else but yourself if what you're trying to value is the legitimacy placed on that type of living? Saying if you do this is the most normalist type of legitimate type of way to express the human type of human existence or whatever. You're supposed to do that. It's not. So why is everyone against it? If it's the most normalist fucking thing in the world, why is everybody against it? And now you could say like, oh, well, we're not against it, because they're all gonna fucking say that, but they are. You just haven't been fucking caught. You just haven't been busted out. You haven't been blown the fuck out, caught red-handed. One of these days you're gonna get caught red-handed because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You start to believe your own bullshit. If there's effective lying enough, then only the deceiver has to be aware of it. Only the deceiver has to be afraid of it. It won't work on everybody else. So the guy thinks he's not going to get caught because these, young people, they all want to be a California gangster. They all want to be cool and hip and doing all the things that they're not supposed to do. And we're here to give them discipline and to break them out of the wrong ways of thinking. So if he calls you a bitch, then you can keep patting him down at the fucking metal detector. You'll just keep being able to do that. Because to everyone else, it maintains a semblance of reason and sense why your purpose is there. It's fulfilling a good. Oh, he's good. It's good. Why would anybody think of targeting this individual and killing them? Oh, you gotta stay alive. People, every living, dignified man needs to stay alive. Just want to stay alive. But if you want to stay alive, then there's just a couple of fucking things. Don't pat down my fucking kid at the fucking metal detector. That works, bitch. Because whether or not he gets off the hook because you called him a bitch, I'm still gonna... That's what a good parent's supposed to do. I don't know if there's any legislation that's going to save, like a net that's going to catch you. You know, if you do what you're supposed to do as a parent, it's not going to be a safety net and it's going to catch you. But that's like the whole point of passing on to your children the charisma and the consistency of someone with character that's going to remind society what is right and what we do and what we don't do. God damn it.